Never underestimate the power of warm childhood memories. At least, that's what Karina learned after a longing for the simplicity of her coastal upbringing led her back home. There, in collaboration with her father, she designed and built a bespoke shoreside heaven where her love for art and the natural world can be on constant, perfectly uncomplicated display. But first, after spending years working amongst the city's hustle and bustle, Patricia fulfilled a lifelong dream by returning to the water's edge. In doing so, she found a living, breathing personal paradise, with Mother Nature making herself known from the shoreline to the tree line. Patricia is intentional in her appreciation for her surroundings and the serenity that makes every day feel like a never-ending staycation. Water stirs the senses. The sight of a tranquil lake, the sound of an enlivened river, the smell and taste of a salty ocean breeze. Water is Mother Nature's most engaging opus. Where better to enjoy it than from a home on its edge?
Water's always been a part of my life. I grew up by the water. It's one of my favorite places to just go hang out and relax. Living in Alberta, of course, it's landlocked, so I'm really happy to be back surrounded by all this water. I was really looking for a unique home, and the bonus of it was that it was on the water. That was such a great perk because living on the water is something I've always kind of dreamed of. I used to save pictures on my laptop of homes that were kind of nestled in the woods on a riverfront. So it all just fell into place. I was really fortunate to find a place like this. At that time, it was really hard to find homes, and they were very expensive. As soon as a home got listed, you had about 48 or 72 hours to put a bid in. I remember pulling up to the home for the viewing, and of course this is a very short time frame. The house just got listed, and so you're feeling a bit of the rush. Entered from the front door into this big, spacious room, the living room with vaulted ceilings, and it was really the exposed wood, I guess, that got me. It has that real comforting and homey kind of country feel to it. Felt just like home. I decided that I was going to make sure that I got this home, and so I put in a strong bid, and luckily I got it. It's kind of like living in cottage country out here. It's nice. I don't really have to take vacations. Having a place like this on the water surrounded by nature and all the ducks and the birds, it really gives you that sense of peace. I'm really lucky. I can just walk out the back door and I'm right on the waterfront right away. As you enter the front door, you walk into the main living room with the fireplace, these vaulted ceilings. The exposed beams are really what makes this home unique. It's such a warm feeling. It kind of gives you that country cottage lifestyle feel. It actually makes you probably feel like you're more in nature. The fireplace from floor to ceiling, some beautiful exposed brick. And just past the fireplace is your first view of the river, Fletcher's Run. From the kitchen, you can see right through to the river through the dining room. The dining room was one of my favorite areas. It has these 3 great big windows and a sliding patio door window. It's a very versatile room. I can play my piano there, I eat breakfast or basically all my meals in there, and I can also work from there. It has such a great view. It's a great room. To get upstairs, you walk up this lovely set of wooden stairs with open backs. There's a den to your left that overlooks the front gardens of the house and has some great sunlight. I made a kind of a quiet seating area so you can go in there and read books. There's these two lovely chairs. I put a lot of thought into choosing the color of them and just the comfort level of them. And I've put some greenery in there just to kind of bring the outdoors in. I have friends over, that's often the room that we'll choose to sit down and have a coffee together or a glass of wine. There's two guest bedrooms off to the left. One of them overlooks the front garden area, which is a beautiful room to have guests stay over. There's a nice full bathroom, lots of sunlight that comes in there. It faces the south direction. Off to the right, there's the main bedroom. There's a balcony that overlooks the water out back. You're so high up and you get a good look down below, and you also get a view up in the trees. Sometimes I'll put my camera up in my bedroom, so early in the morning, 6 a.m. when all the birds are just waking up, I'll get some nice shots of them and some recordings. If you continue down another couple of stairs from the lower level, there's another room with a fireplace in there. I've kind of made it into my hobby room or music room. It has a great view, of course, of the water out back. So as you're playing the fiddle or practicing with the lap steel guitar, you have this great sense of peace and calm that kind of plays right into the music. The property was put together so well. It's such a homey looking house. The gardens are so beautiful and the colors in them, there's this really nice. And the color of the home is very unique as well. It's very warm and welcoming. It kind of ties into nature around it. It doesn't pop out, it just blends with nature's colors all around it. It really is seamless between the house and the gardens and the view and the water out back. One of the features that a lot of people like is there's this wonderful tree out front. It's a weeping tree. In the summertime when it's nice and warm, I'll go outside and just have those tree lights on, and it's just so very peaceful. You feel like you're just on a calm, beautiful resort. In the morning, when I'm sitting down for breakfast, is usually when I'll see the eagles flying down the river. It can be a pretty entertaining or exciting breakfast time. Beside the birds and the ducks, I have deer that come around at nighttime. They made a couple of trails down to the water, one of which I use for my stand-up paddleboard. There are some snapping turtles out back. In the wintertime, I've seen river otters. They like to play on the ice as it gathers out back. There's lots of incredible and interesting wildlife to see around here. The previous owners put a lot of work into the gardens and that out front, and lucky for me, now all I have to do is tend to them and keep them looking pretty. The gardens and the trees and their lines and curves just ties everything together so seamlessly. The landscape in the area is so beautiful, especially this time of year. The trees, as they're blooming, everything is so green. Everybody in the neighborhood really seems to enjoy nature. I see people out in their backyards along the water all the time. There's other people in the area that have kayaks. Some people like to go fishing. The environment around here really does encourage you to get outside and get involved and appreciate nature. I just love being at home. I don't feel like I have to leave to enjoy myself. The hobbies that I like are so outdoorsy, and so this is the perfect place for me to be. I don't have to spend a lot of time packing and making plans for a weekend. I can just walk right out the back door and go enjoy all my hobbies. I got into kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, do some woodworking out back, just a fun hobby of mine, which is something, I wouldn't have been able to do in a condo. When I'm out on the stand-up paddleboard, kind of looking in the water for some snapping turtles. I've seen the snapping turtles on rocks above the water, but I have yet to catch one underwater. There's also lots of fish out there that the seagulls and the bald eagles and ospreys like to dive for. There's always something to be looking for out there in the water. I've got into some wildlife photography after moving here. This is the first time that I've kind of gotten into any sort of, I'm not sure if I would call it serious photography, but photography, you know, with a proper camera, not just my cell phone. Never really thought that I'd be a birder, but after moving out here, it's just something that I really enjoy. It's very calming and peaceful. I was gonna do a few things to the property when I moved in, but after just, you know, watching nature, I decided just to leave things alone. There's more than just me that lives here. Living on a property like this, it gets you to slow down. You're not really stuck in your head quite as much. I can find a lot of calming and grounding things to do. My workday, instead of just being surrounded by concrete towers, I'm surrounded by this beautiful landscape, all these birds singing. It's not just the hustle bustle of the city. Just being able to take a step back and relax, it gives you a new perspective on things. One of the best things about this house is that there wasn't very much that had to be done. It was move-in ready. It's beautiful just the way it is. There's some small items that I'm thinking of doing. I might put in a bathroom downstairs. It's nice to have, you know, a second washroom with a shower. And I've been working on making my own dining table, just kind of this wooden look to keep with the kind of country feel of the home. Other than those couple of minor things, the house really is just perfect the way it is. At one point I did think about putting in a patio back there, but again, I'm just trying to keep nature the way it is. Even I was going to put a dock in the backyard, and I changed my mind after watching kind of how the ducks move around the shore. I find it really hard to think about giving this place up. It is such a beautiful home, and I can't imagine finding anything, you know, better than this. I like to have guests, I like to have friends over, I like to have parties. I've had a few kind of Kayleys or kitchen parties here in the room where the piano is, surrounded by this beautiful wood. It gives great acoustics. Coming home every day, I'm just so glad to be here. I'm really happy that I found this place. Home is just a place where you feel comfortable, you feel safe. I'd say that this is definitely home to me.
I actually lived away for probably about 10 years, and I went to school for a laboratory assistant, and then I just moved back here about a year ago. I grew up out here, and it felt really peaceful. I had a really great childhood out here, really relaxed. I was always out in the woods, you know, playing, and usually a lot of people, they used to say, oh my God, how did you live out here in the boonies, right? But I just absolutely loved it. I felt really grounded all the time, and yeah, it was great. The reason why I moved back here is just to be closer to my parents again and to get away from it all, to get back to that state of relaxation. I just love being back on the water. I picked this spot because of the 200-foot waterfront. The view of the lake is just absolutely breathtaking. And then there's also an island out there, and that's actually where the name of the cottage came from, is the Island View Cottage. When I picked the spot for the cottage, I really wanted to utilize the view of the water. That's why I decided to incorporate the really large windows in the living room. just give the cottage a nice open concept feel. I also wanted a really large deck so that you can really take in the view of the lake. Water's always been a part of my life growing up out here. This spot really helps me to connect with nature and just really recharge, stay grounded, and unwind. When you walk through the door and you walk down a hallway, and then there will be the 2 bedrooms. The first bedroom has a Queen Murphy bed just because it utilizes the space a lot better. The bed can be put away, and then it can also be used as like a little office area. The second bedroom has a large king bed that my dad actually made by hand. One thing that was really special to me during this building process was that I really got to collaborate closely with my dad, and he had a lot of different and unique design features, one being the piece of beechwood in the middle of the cottage. He has a very artistic side, and a lot of the pieces in here, furniture included, he designed and made by hand, so one being the dining room table and the benches, as well as the coffee table. When you walk into the kitchen and living room area, you really get a feel for the open concept and the view of the water. My favorite spot in the cottage is definitely the living room. I especially love sitting in the chair in the corner, drinking coffee or tea, and just enjoying the lake view. One thing that was really important to me that I wanted to incorporate interior-wise is to showcase art from local artists. There is a custom wall hanging that actually is a mirror image of the island that you can see, and the local artist's name is Emma White. One of my absolute favorite paintings in here is the watercolored painting of Cape Breton Island by a local artist named Margaret Gillis. You can actually see the Bredor Lake on there, and then also some of the local Cape Breton flowers, the lupins. When people come over, they immediately just say how welcoming and cozy the cottage feels, and how relaxed they feel, and how they can just completely unwind and recharge when they're here. The initial feeling when I drive down to the cottage is just wow. When we first got here, the area was just completely wooded, and it was actually kind of hard to visualize exactly how I wanted everything to look. I didn't have this big picture of everything right away. A lot of excavation had to happen to tie it into the shoreline and everything. I wanted to really incorporate a few different areas outside that people could enjoy, one being the hot tub area, of course, and then also the fire pit where people can sit and gather. Another really unique feature is the outdoor shower. My dad actually designed it and came up with the idea, and I think it's a really unique feature to have. It's also really great to see the lake as you're having a nice relaxing shower out there. I really love sitting down by the water, by the fire pit, enjoying the wildlife. Sometimes you'll even see some loons out there and an otter swimming by. You even sometimes see some fish jumping. You can really see my dad's creative influence, like the flat stone wall. He made all that by hand, and the stone staircase as well. The most unique aspect of the exterior is for sure the pond that my dad wanted to incorporate, and he actually made that all by himself. Well, not all by himself. I did help him. It was a lot of work, but I'm really glad how everything turned out. I really wanted to incorporate a reading nook in the cottage. I have this really beautiful blue chair. I love sitting there and just reading. I really love the island that's across, and it really makes me feel absorbed in the nature around me. Water's always been a part of my life. So with the everyday stressors in life, this spot really gives me the opportunity to unwind and just recharge. I really wanted to incorporate a hot tub because it just gives you that extra piece of relaxation. Sitting in the hot tub, looking at the view, and just completely unwinding. Coming down the driveway to the cottage, I just immediately feel calm and relaxed seeing the water. One of my favorite sayings that I actually have on the door here is, leave your worries and your shoes at the door, so I thought that was really nice to incorporate. Moving home has really helped me with my mental health. I'm a big-time overthinker and a worrier, and just being here just really helps me to relax and feel grounded. I was gone for about 10 years, and now moving back this past year has just been really great. I definitely feel at home, and I don't want to leave again. I do have some future plans in mind with expansion. I would like to possibly extend the deck a little bit to make it bigger, also maybe add on a piece for a third bedroom and a laundry room. Living by the water really just brings me a sense of calmness and peace that I think a lot of people really need. The lake is quite secluded, and you don't really see a lot of people or noise, so it's really nice being here. The feeling of home for me is just a feeling of calmness, that inner peace feeling content, and just all the weight being lifted off my shoulders. I really wouldn't change living here on the water for anything else.
Whether nestled alongside a riverbank or perched high above a distressed ocean, living on the shore has its perks. But beautiful views are only the beginning. The sights, sounds, and sensations of the water are constant in their impact, improving moods, perspectives, and lives. To exist and grow on its edge is extraordinary, an experience made even sweeter when shared with the people we love.